Hi, welcome to this astrology report for the weekend of Friday, May 2nd through Sunday, May 4th. Excuse me as I get my little amateur setup all together here. I think we're good now. So, when I think about the astrology of this weekend, three words come to mind: rest, love, and shift. Resting and loving, as I'm about to describe them, are two really great things to lean in the direction of this weekend because of what the astrology indicates. Shifting is kind of happening whether we like it or not, based on the current astrology. So, this morning I will walk you through all three of these words and why I chose them, and we'll talk about the astrology of the weekend ahead. And it is a lot more complex than that, but these three words I thought were a great place to start. So, the reason I said rest is because of two different astrological elements, actually. The first is this sun in Taurus, but also the fact that we are in still the lunation from when the moon was here in Taurus as well. Our last lunation was the new moon in Taurus, when the moon and the sun met up in Taurus. And this is a beautiful lunation for resting. And we are in the energy of that Taurus lunation for 2 weeks. So we have another solid week or a little bit more of this process to work through. And there's something so comfortable and wonderful about Taurus energy. Taurus is a sign that likes to be in a body, that loves to be in a body, actually. So anything that sort of grounds you in your physical self is a great direction to lean into this weekend. We have had a lot of intense, astrology. That Mars-Pluto opposition last weekend, the sun coming into a T-square with all of it, it's just been a lot. And that is all breaking up now. And we have the chance to sort of soothe with some Taurus, leaning in some Taurus directions. So again, Taurus really likes to be in a body. So this is for all of us right now. It doesn't matter what sign you are. We're all under the lunation of this Taurus new moon, doing things that that feel good to you physically or that ground you in the earth are wonderful during Taurus season. So cooking, gardening, getting your hands in the earth in any kind of way, going for a walk, even just paying attention this weekend. It sounds so silly, but to the clothes that you wear, to the blanket that you throw on your lap when you're having a little rest in front of the TV, whatever it is you're doing, really paying some attention to making your body comfortable. It's a great weekend to eat good food. Food may even taste a little better than it usually does on a weekend like this based on the astrology. It's a really nice weekend to take a little bit of rest. There has been a lot going on. Taurus season really helps us to slow down and enjoy being in a body. But as I said, really there are two reasons that I recommend rest this weekend. Just a little bit of a slower schedule where you can get it. And the other one connected to rest, the other piece of the astrology connected to rest that I wanted to mention is that Pluto on Sunday, May 4th, will go retrograde. So Pluto is station retrograde basically for 4 or 5 days before that, 4 or 5 days after, meaning that Pluto doesn't just turn on a dime when he goes retrograde, he slows down first. And Pluto goes so slow anyway that when we're talking about a Pluto retrograde, Pluto is actually quite still in the sky, really for a couple of weeks. And that all perfects this weekend. I really like Pluto stations. There's something about Pluto stations that I actually really enjoy. Other people might not feel this way. There's something sort of incredibly dreamy about it. Like I sort of have the feeling of like taking a long bath and kind of like losing yourself in a daydream. You know, that's very Pluto stationing retrograde. Pluto is newly in Aquarius right now, however. And this is the first time that Pluto has really had a chance to stop and back up once really significantly getting into the sign. Pluto did have a retrograde at just like 0 degrees the first time he was here, but this is something we haven't experienced before, just to say. Pluto goes retrograde every year. It's nothing major. But Pluto retrograde at 3 degrees of Aquarius, really significantly into the sign of Aquarius, we haven't seen this before. This is going to give us a chance. This period of time, these few months while Pluto is retrograde, is really going to give us the opportunity to review some of the new things that we've gotten started, to rethink and reconsider what we've been doing, to start to sort of process it in a more advanced way and integrate it. So if you are aware of where Pluto is in your chart and you're starting to have some sense of how that Pluto might be working with you, know that the next few months, and maybe this weekend in general, with the station happening, is a good time to sort of go back over that. There might not be a lot of forward progress in terms of these goals for the next few months. What there is instead is sort of perfecting and allowing and integrating and shifting with that Pluto going retrograde. Like I said, I really like the feeling of Pluto retrograde. There's something about it that's very deep and sort of intense, but subtle at the same time, which doesn't make sense. That sounds like it doesn't make sense at all. But Pluto's quite profound, and retrograde is sort of a subtle energy. So it is sort of as if, you know, I like to think of the planets as all sort of contributing a different note to the music that we're listening to. And Pluto is sort of the longest held, deepest note in that piece of music. And it's like it changes just slightly during a time like this. Excuse me. Allergies as well are a part of life during Taurus season as we ground into the earth. But anyway, Pluto stationing retrograde, we'll feel this, but it's sort of subtle and not too overwhelming. It's profound and deep and meaningful without completely, without feeling scary, without feeling overwhelming. So that plus the Taurus new moon lunation that we're in and the fact that we're in Taurus season, that's why I'm talking about rest. This is a good weekend to give yourself a little time to slow down where you can, to get some time alone, to contemplate the new things that have started in your life, the brand new things, the points of focus if you happen to know how Pluto is working with your chart. And it's also a great weekend to take that rest by trying to enjoy being in your body as much as possible, whether that means cooking, walking in nature, gardening, making sure you wear your favorite sweatshirt. Be a little quiet this weekend and take that rest after everything that we've been going through astrologically. It's much needed. And all of this Taurus energy, as well as the Pluto station, will definitely support a little bit of a restful weekend where you can get it. I don't think it will be entirely that way, and it probably shouldn't be. Let's move on to love. And this could be love directly, but it could also be about what you're attracted to, what you value, what you it could relate to other things too. Let's discuss. This is an incredible transit. And I have to say that Venus conjunct Neptune, which is the transit that I want to talk about, Venus conjunct Neptune is the one that goes with the keyword love that I wanted to contribute for this weekend. And I think that this is my very favorite aspect in astrology. Venus conjunct Neptune is beautiful. It's and it's perfecting. Well, it's not perfecting this weekend. Um, uh, oh, it is. It is. It's conjunct Venus conjunct Neptune exactly on the second. Yes, of course. It's actually perfecting today. This is a chart for Saturday morning, but Friday this aspect is exact, and we will be feeling it for several days after. I also wrote about this in my horoscopes, or wrote about it. I did write about it, but it's in video form. You can watch a little more about this in your horoscopes on my channel, Best Watch for Your Rising Sign. But let me say here, I think that Venus conjunct Neptune is my very favorite aspect in astrology. There's something mystical about it. It's like love breaks through the barriers. Neptune breaks us through the barriers, and Venus is about what we love. It can also rule finances. It is about relationships, but it's also about what we value and what we like, and beauty and art. And when Neptune is here, we break past the limits. You know, I have an issue with Venus conjunct Neptune. Here's my issue. It's kind of a big issue. One of the ways that it can manifest is that we can be like deceived in with people or with finances. Neptune has a blurry quality to it, and a lower expression of Neptune can be deceptive. Okay, but here's the thing. So much of Neptune is above that surface. If that shows up, you know, 1 out of every 10 times there's a Venus Neptune conjunction, the 9 out of 10 times that meeting of, say, those people or that experience is actually a very high experience. It's mystical. It's sort of divinely inspired. You know, it can feel transcendent. It can feel like a sort of next level connection. The connection can feel almost divine, whether that connection's to another person or to an idea, something you're excited about, whatever is sort of coming in at this time that you love, whether it's a person, an activity, an opportunity. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be even bigger and better than you thought initially, right? It's this beautiful thing that carries this divine connection. But here's do you see my issue? 1 out of 10 times, it's a deception. So how do we carry both of those energies? How do I present both of those energies to you? And how do we allow ourselves to let go into an experience that feels divinely inspired? You have to really let go into it. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, you know, but also at the same time, keep our wits about us, not go too far. Make sure that we aren't being deceived. Make sure that everything is what it seems. You know, how can you sort of hold both? I don't think it's easy, and I'm not even sure that we can. And the problem with Neptune is that Neptune is hard to understand in the moment. It's hard to make sense of Neptune transits while they're happening. They make more sense later. So this is really tricky in terms of knowing exactly how to navigate it. But again, my very favorite aspect in astrology, Venus conjunct Neptune. Mystical, beautiful connections, understanding and seeing what we love, what we want, how we see beauty, what we're drawn to. Relationships can be absolutely beautiful at a time like this, breaking through boundaries. And this is especially true at the very beginning of Aries. So as much as we're resting this weekend with this Taurus energy, going a bit deep but in a subtle way with this Pluto station, there's also this mystical, beautiful Venus-Neptune conjunction to contend with that is lighting things up in a really beautiful way that we should be paying attention to. So that is the love part of this forecast. Now let's talk about shift. So I am just going to add to this, even though the chart is getting awfully busy. Like I said, this is sort of the part of things that's happening whether we like it or not. Circle Pluto again, circle Neptune again. I circled these three planets, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, because all three of these planets are in the process of shifting right now. Two have already. Uranus will join the party this summer. Neptune is in Aries, but we're still getting used to it. Pluto has been there for a few months. We're really starting to get a sense for the energy now. But guys, these planets take so long to change signs, and for some reason, they're just all doing it at the same time. What this suggests is an era shifting time that we're living in. So Pluto only changes signs every 15 to 20 years. Neptune, we have like, how long is it? 18 years. And Uranus has been there since 2018. So these planets do not change signs very often. They're the furthest planets. They're the outer planets. They have more to do. They relate more. They signify more about what's happening in the collective, what's happening not to us personally, but what's happening in the larger, wider world. And basically, we're going through this shift right now, really all year, but it is a part of the weekend, and it's part of why we need this rest and we need this love because we're going through this big shift. We're moving from earth and water to air and fire, these outer signs. So things feel faster and heavier, more important. I think the quickness is the first thing that we notice. The energy just moving in a more sort of at a faster pace, but also just with a greater sense of urgency. The world is changing pretty quickly around us. And this is part of why we need the rest and part of why we need the love. All three of these things are quite evident in the astrology. We are moving into a different era. I think that, thank you, Kenneth, for your question about the shift. I think that we are always moving forward. Astrology suggests that we are always learning and growing, right? This life is about moving forward, learning more and more, learning and growing, evolving, receiving and giving love, getting better and better at that. Coming into more of a full expression of our full selves, being able to, I always say all of the planets just want to be heard. So all of our planets being able to come online, all sides of ourself. But I think what's interesting about astrology is it shows ways in which we're encouraged to do that. Sometimes they can be easy and sometimes they can be sort of more challenging. The astrology doesn't really care as long as we're continuing to be moved along. Things don't stay the same. Cycles happen, and we're always kind of meant to be moving down that path toward more and more full expressions of everything. And we're all doing that, right? Not just us, but everyone else in the world too. So it's sort of a collective evolution as well. But I'm along for the ride with all of you guys this weekend. I hope you get some good rest, find some things that you love, and just kind of relax and enjoy. It's a great weekend for that with all this Taurus. Thank you so much for being here. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Check out your horoscopes for rising sign on my channel, and I'll be back again soon. Have a great weekend. Thank you.